means of economic support. I'd like to introduce two gentlemen who are here to talk about Citizens for an Alternative Tax System. And they are here. They came on their own time and their own expense today to explain their program to us. I'd like to introduce Neal White and also Dick Backert. And they're here to tell you about their program. We're going to give you an address, a phone number, and also we'll let you call in and ask some questions. Good morning, gentlemen, and welcome to the morning show.
Good morning, Ann. Glad to be here.
You've got on a button, and it says no income tax. Is that it? Okay. Now, obviously, everybody would vote for that, but we have to be realistic. Tell us about your program, maybe what the historical roots are, and what you're doing throughout the country.
Very good. And if your viewers have been watching the circus that's going on in Washington, they know one thing, and that is that our system is breaking down, and it does not work. And something has to be done. A change must be made. Citizens for Alternative Tax System started about 2.5 years ago, and it started in California. But there were just some people who were fed up with taxes being arbitrarily assessed and having to pay them, and the way they're done, the unfairness that's being done. So they did a lot of studying on what's available, and after looking at all the systems, the national sales tax as a total, and I underline, total replacement of the personal income tax, the corporate income tax, and all excise taxes for the same revenues they're currently collecting would be a dramatic improvement in our economy and the growth of the nation and simplicity for the taxpayers.
Okay, now you're saying, explain that a little bit more fully, if you will, Dick.
Ann, let me pick up on the second part of your question, if I may, and that is the roots of our system. For 126 years, this country functioned without a federal income tax until 1913, when we got the income tax. Except for a brief period during the war between the states, the system of taxation was one of indirect taxation, imposts, duties, and tariffs. This is precisely what we propose to return to. Mm-hmm. This is not a radical change. This is the foundational system on which this original republic and form of taxation was based.
And of course, in 1913, I think originally when this was proposed, it was never to exceed maybe 10% of your income.
It was capped at like 2%, and it was on $20,000, which dollars, by the way, were real money, gold and silver backed money, not the paper money we have today. So it was considerably, and it topped out at 7% for incomes above $20,000.
You know what is happening today is it, in a way, it punishes people who are achievers by taking more and more away from them. So, all right, you say, first of all, I'm just overwhelmed with this concept, but I wanted to know, how can a grassroots organization such as your own change the way Congress thinks? That's what these viewers out here are going to want to know. They like your idea, I'm sure.
Well, it can only be done by the grassroots people, and that's what CATS is, totally grassroots. We have no financial backing other than that which is voluntarily contributed by the taxpayers who are fed up with the program. And the trouble, if you watch the circus going on in Washington, you know, none of us, the taxpayers, were represented in the negotiations. Only special interest people who got special dispensation from the income tax. That's 70% of all the lobby effort that goes on. And it's got to be changed so that we are in control of this country rather than the other way around.
If I might inject something, a statistic that most people aren't familiar with is that for every tax and spending bill that comes before Congress, for every individual who comes before a committee to speak against a tax and spend proposal, 144 individuals come to speak for that proposal. Most of them have a strong vested interest in government. They are lobbyists, people from inside the Beltway. The founders of the Republic put the purse strings of this nation in the House of Representatives. Every 2 years, these folks come back to us for their approval as to what kind of a job they're doing. Basically, if you want to know who's responsible, look in the mirror.
We are.
It is the citizens.
That's right.
We've neglected our government.